All right, today we're tackling a topic that's quickly moving from a legal checkbox to the absolute core of business strategy, app accessibility. We're going to dive into how you can turn this legal duty into a really powerful and, yeah, profitable business advantage.
So here's the game plan. First up, we'll talk about the stakes involved. Is your app an opportunity or a risk? Then we'll get crystal clear on what digital accessibility actually is. We'll glance at the laws in Israel and the USA you've got to know. Then we'll dodge a super common high-tech mistake involving AI. After that, we'll walk through the right way to get this done, and we'll wrap up by looking at the clear business advantages you'll gain.
You know, in a world where our phones are basically our remote control for life, we use them for everything. Your app is way more than just a piece of software. It's your digital front door. So the real question is that door wide open for everyone? Or are you accidentally turning paying customers away at the door? And look, this is way more than just social responsibility, even though that's super important. An app that can't be used by people with disabilities is actively shrinking your potential market. It's also leaving you wide open to some pretty expensive lawsuits, and honestly, it just damages your brand. You're basically shooting yourself in the foot in an already crowded digital world. So what do we really mean when we talk about accessibility? It's a word that gets thrown around a lot, and it's often confused with just being user-friendly. But the difference is huge, and getting this wrong, yeah, that can cost you a lot. So let's clear this up right now.
At its core, it's pretty simple. Digital accessibility is all about making sure your app can be used by everyone. Full stop. It's about designing and building it so that folks using things like screen readers for vision impairment or maybe voice commands for physical disabilities can have the exact same smooth experience as anybody else. Here is the absolute key distinction. Usability is about making things easy and fast, but accessibility, that's about making things possible. Let me put it this way. Imagine you've got this gorgeous food delivery app with a beautiful, colorful menu. For most people, that's great usability. But if that menu is just a bunch of images with no descriptive text behind them, for someone using a screen reader, that menu is completely invisible. It literally doesn't exist for them. That's the difference.
Now, this isn't just a nice to have or about good practice. It is the law. And trust me, the rules are only getting tighter and more specific. So let's take a quick look at a couple of key markets to see how this all works. So over in Israel, the main thing you need to know about is Israeli Standard 5568. It basically follows the global playbook, which is known as WCAG 2.1. This lays out a really clear list of things your app has to do, like work perfectly with a screen reader, not rely on complicated swipe gestures, and have strong color contrast so things are easy to read. Now, hopping over to the US, you're dealing with laws like the Americans with Disabilities Act, or the ADA. The principles are similar, but the US market puts a huge emphasis on making sure your app works across a massive range of different phones, tablets, and operating systems. There's also a big focus on things like area tags, which give screen readers context, and making sure your app plays nice with the specific tech people are actually using. It just goes to show you can have a one-size-fits-all approach.
Okay, let's talk about the shiny new object in the room, AI. It's so tempting, right? To think you can just plug in some automated tool and have it magically fix all your accessibility problems. But this is a massive, and I mean massive, mistake that a lot of people are making. I love this quote because it just hits the nail on the head. AI doesn't get context. Sure, it can scan your code and tell you a button is missing a label, but it can't tell you if the label you wrote actually makes any sense to a human being. It has no idea what it feels like to be a user who's totally stuck and frustrated. It just doesn't have that human understanding.
So here's the bottom line. AI can be a decent assistant. It can help your developers find potential red flags. But if you want to be truly compliant and, more importantly, give your users a genuinely good experience, you absolutely must have professional humans testing your app. Seriously, there's just no substitute for that.
So, what does doing it the right way actually look like? Let's get practical. What's the actionable plan here? Whether you're starting a new app from zero or you need to fix one that's already out there, there's a really clear path to follow.
If you're building a new app, listen up, because this is the secret sauce. It's called accessibility by design. It just means you think about this stuff from the very first sketch. You design your buttons and menus to be accessible. You build a logical navigation flow. You bring in an expert to be part of the team, and you test with real users. Do it right from the start, and you'll save yourself a world of headaches and money down the road.
Okay, but what if your app is already out there in the wild? No problem. The process there is a professional audit. It starts with experts doing a deep scan of your entire app.
Then they give you a super detailed report that says, here's what's broken and here's exactly how to fix it. They'll even jump on a call with your dev team to explain everything. Once your team makes the fixes, the experts come back and retest it all. And at the very end, you get that golden ticket, a formal accessibility statement. That's your proof you've done the work.
Okay, so we've covered the why, the what, and the how. Now for the best part, the payoff. This is where it all clicks. Because investing in accessibility isn't just an expense. It's a straight-up competitive advantage that drives real business growth.
The benefits here are so clear. Boom, you instantly open up your app to a bigger market, including seniors and people with disabilities. You protect yourself from those nasty lawsuits. You build a brand that people see as responsible and trustworthy. You even get a boost in your search rankings because engines like Google love well-built, accessible apps. And here's the kicker. Companies that do this see satisfaction and engagement numbers go up for all their users.
So I'll leave you with this one thought. As we move into this new era of AI search and smart digital assistants, the apps that are built on a solid foundation of accessibility are going to be the easiest ones for these new systems to understand and to recommend to users. They are, without a doubt, the apps of the future. The only question left is your app going to be one of them?